Good evening, everybody. How are you doing today? Can you hear me? Okay. Yes, I see it's moving now. Hi, D. Hi, Harriet. Long time no see. If you are the Harriet Johnson that I remember from my original year of doing Big Brother. Hi, Ed. So this is going to be a pretty quick live. Ed actually, no, not Ed. Tasha actually suggested for me to do this as a topic. I might go more into it later, but I just wanted to do this quick one. This was really just to catch up and to get some opinions of some of you on here. So the question is, I mentioned a scenario that happened to me a while ago, some like years ago at this point, where somebody said, "Hey, let's meet up and grab something to eat at this taco spot." To me, that suggestion was not "let's have a date," but according to the Discordians, which are the people that are on my Discord, if somebody from the opposite gender, well, I'll preface by saying this: the majority of the people saying this were women, and they said that they would never ask a man to meet up and eat somewhere unless it was a date. So that's my number one thing, or that's the first question. Um, Ladies or gentlemen can answer the question, but as a lady, would you ever ask a man to meet up and go somewhere to eat if it was platonic, or would you only do that for a date? And same thing goes for a man. If a lady said, "Hey, let's meet up and go out to such and such place for dinner," and you were friends, would you consider that as them asking you on a date? Secondly, if they asked you to go meet and go to this restaurant, would you think that because you are the guy that you are supposed to be paying for their meal? Is that something that you would speak about with them? Is that something that you would not speak about with them? Would you have it in your head that I'm just paying? Would you go in with the intent of I'm going to pay my bill and they're going to pay their bill? That's basically what I want to know. So this is the way that I think. If I'm asking somebody to go somewhere with me, sometimes it wouldn't even have to be a date scenario. Sometimes even if it was just a suggestion, "Hey, let's go do this," I would treat them to it. But the thing about it is, if I'm going somewhere with a platonic friend, I don't consider it my responsibility necessarily to cover their activity. Because to me, there's no difference between a platonic male friend and like a platonic female friend. And I wouldn't be going out intending to fund my activity for my platonic uh, male friend. So I don't really see a difference there personally, but I know everyone's philosophies are different. That's a funny question, Ed. Well, I will have to admit something that I didn't admit in the Discord is that after we met up, I realized that it was intended by the other party to be a date. But, you know, in its original form, that's not what I thought it was. If we made this about my specific situation, then it's totally different. But I'm asking more in a general sense. if a friend was a woman, I wouldn't think it was a date just because she asked me to go to a restaurant. I would pay my bill and she would do the same. And I have people that I've done that with. I have plenty of people that I have done that with. You know, we go somewhere, you pay your thing, I pay my thing. It's not really anything crazy to me, but these things get debated all the time. Some people say, oh, males and females can't have friendships because somebody's always going to have feelings. But no, I have plenty of people in my life who have been opposite gender who I have not had feelings for. I can't say they didn't have feelings for me because I'm not in their head, but they never expressed feelings for me and I didn't have feelings for them. And we hung out and it was fun. You know, I think it's good sometimes, depending on your scenario, obviously, to have people in your life that it's not, you're not hanging out with them with some kind of ulterior motive. Like a hangout is just a hangout. In that particular case, I think that it was presented to me as a hangout so that I would actually have an interest in going, because if it was presented in another way, I probably would not have gone in that particular case. I wouldn't have gone because it was not somebody that I was interested in. I would expect to pay my own way even if asked. But would you have an intent to pay the other person's way? So let's say that you knew that the person liked you. They asked you on the date. They're the ones who asked you on the date, and you knew that they liked you. Even though it wasn't presented as a date, you just knew based on their interactions with you before and the way that they've spoken to you before that they were interested in you. Would you come with the intent of paying for your meal and their meal? Because that's another topic in and of itself. That's another topic in and of itself. And I'll tell you, it changed for me about 10 years ago when one of my friends set me up on this Valentine's Day date. And they did it in really sneaky fashion to make this happen. So the person that I went out with was somebody that I did already know. And maybe I had a passing interest in her. It wasn't a really hardcore interest, but I had somewhat of an interest in her. But I wasn't planning to take her out on Valentine's Day because it's like if I can avoid a Valentine's Day, I would avoid a Valentine's Day. I would take her out after Valentine's Day because I know Valentine's Day would require more. So she was just like, okay, where do you want to go? And I said, I made the worst mistake of saying, you pick the restaurant. And she picked a really expensive restaurant, and the bankroll did not match this restaurant that we were going to. You know those memes where it shows the person sweating, and when the bill comes, it was that type of thing for me because I was not working at the time. I was funding my life on credit cards. I shouldn't have even agreed to that date, to be honest. I mean, even if I agreed, I should have suggested something that was very cheap or close to free. But anyways, we went to this expensive, fancy restaurant, and well, I did intend to pay, and I did pay for everything, and it cost me dearly. But I still remember when the check came, and I was looking at the check, and it was really up there. And she looked at me and said, well, I can pay my half if I want to. I mean, if you don't have the money, because I did bring my own money and I have my own money, and I never felt so emasculated in my life. Um, if I'm asked, I would not expect to pay the full bill. Like, liked me, I'd pay. I wanted to get in as most people would, I suppose. There's the money gone. But I think to myself about that list that lady put online that said these things should not be first dates. Movie theaters, Applebee's, this, and this, and this. For me, I'm willing for somebody not to do the second date because they don't think that I had money on the first one. If you're like, you're disqualified if you don't spend this and this and this on me, I'm willing to be disqualified because I ain't saying you a gold digger, but you know how it goes. But yeah, I would like to know in the comment section, gentlemen, if a lady asks to meet you at a restaurant, well, for me it was a taco spot, but the ladies told me that counts as a restaurant, a dinner date. Um, if they asked you, would you come there expecting to pay their bill? That's the number one question. And then for the ladies, would you ever ask a man to hang out to meet you at a restaurant if you didn't intend on dating them? And what is your feelings on bill etiquette in general between a date? So that's my short video. I told you it was going to be short. Thanks for joining. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and drop something in the comment section after this video drops to let me know what you think. Talk to y'all later.